Hello everyone, it's MVP Csgo here again. I would like to wish you guys a happy new year. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use the Glock. This will be my second video I've done. I'm hoping I can also do one for Deagles. I want to cover most of the pistols like the CZ and Deagle. Probably not the revolver or dualies, the Tech 9. So today I'll start off, it's going to be a little bit like the USP tutorial. Similar ideas, but there's just going to be a little bit, one key difference that I'll show you, and it's that we're going to get a lot closer to the opponent with the Glock than we do with the USP. So just like in the last video, we're going to disable armor, make them harmless, get full ammunition. Alright, so first, like always, we're going to practice our wrist first. Oh, gotta get 2 more bots. So you want about 3 to 4 bots. So just practice wrist movement, nothing on the keyboard. With the USP, it was one-shot headshots without head armor, but it seems like sometimes you'll gush them like that, and then you'd have to shoot them one more time with the Glock. So it's almost like a 2-shot headshot almost. So we'll practice this way for about 50 bots, I would recommend. I'm only going to do 25, so we can get on to the next thing. But just like the USP, wrist movement is always important. And always aim for the head, even with the Glock. I think if you get closer, you have a more guaranteed headshot. Alright, now we're going to go AD, just like in the USP. Just like how you would use the USP. Kind of let them run into your crosshair. And we'll do that for another 25. But with the Glock, you have to keep in mind that when you're playing the pistol round as a terrorist, you really don't want to be facing the CT with their USPs, because they have like the long distance advantage against you. The Glock isn't as good long distance as the USP is. But you still want to shoot, like, do your one taps. You don't want to shoot so fast. Long range, you're not gonna hit them. You might hit them, but it takes a lot of shots. I think with the Glock it might be 4 shots again. The USP was like 3 to 4. If I can get them. That was at least 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I missed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about 4 shots. Alright, so the next one would be the crouching. Crouching is really important. I think I said that for the USP as well. But it just improves the accuracy of the weapon. You don't want to stay crouched for too long though. I realized that I said crouching is amazing in the USP video without also saying what's bad about it. I feel like whenever I crouch more, it's easier for the opponent to kill me or headshot me, because, you know, your character model is much more squished together, so you're wider and it's easier for them to hit you. But I still think the Glock is really good when you crouch. You just don't want to stay crouched for that long. Alright, so I think the fun part would be the next part. So you want to get a few more bots. And this is what you're really trying to do in a real game. You're trying to get closer to your opponent, and then you want to shoot them. You don't want to panic and shoot everywhere. You want to still kind of one tap or 2 taps. You can do 2 taps. 1 tap or 2 taps. 2 taps works too. But yeah, this is what you really want to do in a real game. You know, like, on long A, you want to smoke cross and you want to all rush together up ramp and kill the guys on A site. and it's all kind of close range battles. What the CTs are trying to do is they're trying to get as far away from you as possible, because the USP is not very good close range, and there's only 12 bullets in the USP, whereas the Glock, you have a lot more bullets you can use. You can just chase them almost. You don't want to run straight into them though, because they'll headshot you. You still want to strafe and crouch and kind of have some movement to it, throw off their aim, and then once they run out of bullets, you can just run into them. There's also another thing you can do with the Glock. Not many people even use it. If you use right click, you can switch to burst mode. Now, I personally don't use burst mode. I really don't. It's just really inaccurate, especially when you're moving. And then there's like a little delay time if you miss, and then usually the opponent gets you. After training for a while on this map with this, I realized if you want to use burst, you have to make sure they're kind of standing still, which is really not really going to happen in the game, but you have to be like right under their chest and like right below their chin in order to even that doesn't really kill them sometimes, you know. There's so much blood, but it just doesn't kill them. You have to really aim for the head. But yeah, I would recommend against using burst fire. So just keep practicing close range like this, and just keep in mind you always want to try to get as close as you can to a CT on pistol round. Like the Glock, most people aren't even going to keep it throughout the game. This gun is just mostly used in pistol round, and if you can get really good at it, winning pistol rounds is really important, because if you win the pistol round, the CTs most likely have to save. They might force buy the second round to try to get back in the game, but if they don't, you're most likely going to get a 3-0 start, which is really crucial. And if you're someone that needs to warm up with like eco frags and all that, I don't know if that makes you feel more confident in yourself. It's really important. So I think the biggest difference between this gun and the USP is just that you want to get close to your opponents. So I would recommend doing 50 bots for each, like wrist, 80, crouch, and then come in here and get close and personal. Also, like, you want to rush your CT opponent, but also work with your team. Don't just run off and try to get them. Sometimes if you wait for them to get closer, and then you pop out of nowhere and just headshot them like that, it's better than just running to a CT. Because even if you're strafing left and right, if you have a really skilled opponent, they might still be able to headshot you. But yeah, keep in mind, goal is to get as close as you can, but stay on site with your teammates if you can as well. Alright, if you have any questions, please leave a comment with any of your questions. This is how I think you can train with the Glock. Alright, thank you guys.